Me.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
The last time you were here, you were getting ready for a big triathlon.
That's right, in Grand Haven.
How'd it go?
Spectacular.
Great.
I got third in my division.
Wow.
Yeah. It was my first triathlon, and I was really satisfied to place high in my category. So that was very satisfying. It was a lot of training, and I had a great time. I did it all in an hour, about an hour and a half. So that's a 500-meter swim, 12.4 mile bike ride, and then a 3.1 mile run, all back to back.
Well done.
Thank you.
So what did you get for finishing third?
Well, I got a special drinking glass that says Grand Haven Triathlon, and I think it says third place.
Nice.
Yes.
Did you go out and get a tattoo?
Not yet. I'm going to do another triathlon in Ludington in almost 2 weeks.
Good luck.
Yes, thank you.
In the meantime, between triathlons, Aaron's spreading good news about the city of Jackson, and today you have some breaking news.
Yes, breaking news. It's very exciting. We've had a property sales program that we've been ramping up over the past 2 years, and today we announced to the community that we're now focusing or including what we call buildable lots. Mm-hmm. So these are vacant city-owned lots that could be large enough to contain a new house.
Awesome. And we've had these pieces of property actually expand because of the dilapidated house program that you've had.
That's right. The way that we look at it is there's been a lot of demolitions in Jackson over the past 10 years, but we want the next 10 years to be more about building up the community. Mm-hmm. So we've had a lot of success selling existing properties and selling vacant side lots, but now we want to look at buildable lots. So they're really going to sell for as low as $362, and there's going to be a lot of incentives like water, sewer connection discount up to 100%, and other incentives when we have a plan in place to review. We'll put you at the top of the list for us to review. And one of the big benefits that I really look at is a lot of our new construction in Jackson is out in the township where you're not in a community, you're not in a neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So when you do build in the city of Jackson, you're going to be in an established neighborhood with neighbors and paved street and sidewalks, curbs, and big trees. And you're going to be close to everything that Jackson has to offer. Park, schools, businesses, all of that.
Some of these lots are really small because they had just a tiny little bungalow on them.
Right.
With current building standards, can you build on these small lots?
Essentially how the program works is it's going to be up to the resident or the developer to identify a city-owned lot that they want to build on, and then we will determine if it's big enough to put a new structure on it. So it's really going to depend on the advocacy of the person and then saying this is the kind of structure I want to build on it. A lot of them are very tiny, and those are more what we'd consider a vacant side lot. So those are likely to be sold to an adjacent neighbor and could not contain a new structure. However, some of our neighborhoods have vacant city-owned lots that are small parcels, but there's 2 to 3, 4 in a row. So you could combine those and build a larger home, or it could be a townhome or apartment complex situation. So there's really room to move. So we really encourage people, if they're interested, to look at the properties available and then contact the city, and then we can figure out if it's going to be a right fit.
Tiny houses. Are we a community that is open to that?
I think there are certain specifications as far as having a kitchen and a bathroom and all that kind of thing. I think if we wanted to do a tiny house and it was within our structural guidelines in the city, that is something that we could do. But I think when we think about a standard tiny house, it's usually something that's already on an existing property with kind of a mothership type house. So yeah, we would look at it. It's really about seeing where you want to build and then working with the city. So we have a lot of great incentives to really power this program.
Years ago, have you ever done this? You go back and see the home that you spent your childhood in? I did that a few years ago, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's so small. We as a society, our houses, we in the 50s and 40s, the houses we built and we lived in, they were a lot smaller than today's houses.
People's relationships to spaces have definitely changed. So I think one of the other benefits is I don't think anyone's going to have the space to build a McMansion by any means. So the cost of the property is going to be very minimal, and then the footprint of the house is likely to be small as well. So you can have a new home, and hopefully it wouldn't be too expensive to construct, because as we know, construction costs go
Based
up
on
and
the
down.
size,
Yeah,
too.
and based on the size.
Yeah. So here's a typical lot. So you could build on this lot. This is big enough to build on.
Yes.
Where's this one at?
This is on Pringle Street, I believe. I think I took that photo last year. So I am not an expert in the community development department, but I would say that is likely big enough. But when you see these small parcels that are maybe, 20 feet across, that probably won't do it as much.
Mm-hmm.
The other good element to look at here is we have an affordable housing issue in the city of Jackson. So the more housing that we build, that is going to free up other housing for people to move into. So this is just one solution that we can do to help combat the affordable housing issue.
How about commercial use? Is there any home that's like maybe next to a commercial structure that somebody could expand their commercial business?
Quite possibly. Do you have any ideas?
No, I don't.
I know you already live above the shop.
Well, I know someone that has a restaurant, and you tore down an old garage in behind him, and now there's this big spot back there. So he could expand if he wanted to, or maybe put something, or make it green space if he wanted to buy it.
That's right. I think if you have an idea and you want to use a city-owned property, we definitely want to hear about it. For a lot of these lots, we look at it more as a vacant side lot, and that is a piece of property that we feel like can never be built on again because of its size. So we offer those to people who have an adjacent property. So your current property has to touch the vacant property, and you can buy it from the city for as low as $362.50, and then it's yours to use. You can incorporate it into your property so your children and pets have more space to play, and you can put a fence around it. You can build a garage. We have a lot of shared driveways in the city of Jackson, and that's not always the best situation for neighbors. So people can put in a new driveway. It's really yours to use. It's combined with your property, and then you can do whatever you want with it. So we've seen a lot of success with that. We've sold more than 136
Oh, wow.
side lots since late 2020.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those. They put swing sets and driveway. How many buildable lots are there, would you say?
We don't have an accurate number of that because it's really going to decide on a lot of factors, like what size the structure is going to be and if you want to combine lots. So I can say that we have 800 vacant parcels in the city of Jackson.
Oh, wow.
So I would say there's possibly hundreds of possibilities for people.
And there's probably some that might be like along the railroad tracks or someplace where
Right.
it wouldn't be ideal for living.
Correct. The really great thing here too is I don't think the incentive of this program is to make the city money. However, we've garnered almost $500,000 in the past 2 years from selling these properties when you combine the vacant the vacant side lots and the existing property sales, which is kind of a different end of it. So that's really great. We want to be in the business of providing city services. We don't want to be in the business of owning 800 vacant properties, because that is a lot to maintain. That's a lot of grass that you need to mow. That's a lot of trash you need to clean up. Neighbors get upset when that portion of the sidewalk isn't cleared, understandably. So that's a lot of property for the city to manage, and we want to prioritize city services, so that's why we're selling them. And then the money generated is going into our city general fund. So that money will go into things like parks and streets and public safety.
Now, there's a big piece of property, and I don't think the city owns it, but I think you're familiar with it. It's on the corner of Griswold and Greenwood and 4th. Used to be the Griswold School.
Yes.
It got torn down. There's huge space there. Do you know anything what's going to happen there?
My understanding is that that piece of property is privately owned by a development company, and I think they're working on some kind of solution there. So that is not city owned, so it's kind of up to whoever owns that.
Well, that would be a cool little neighborhood.
It would.
Probably could put 15 houses on it.
Correct.
Yeah.
The other element of this is we sell existing properties. So those are properties that already have a standing structure on them, like a commercial business or a home. And we've sold quite a bit of those. And we identify them because we have a large stock of them through tax foreclosure. And we do our best to bring them up to code. And then we work with the realtor to sell them on the open market. And then those sales are reviewed by the city council. And any kind of homes that are available there are listed on the city website. And they sell it from anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000. We do our best to kind of bring them up to code, but sometimes they're sold as is, and it's up to the purchaser to do the necessary changes to make it livable. But that is also a very low cost housing option for someone who's looking to buy a home and live in it, or an investor who wants to have it as a rental property.
Handyman specials.
Yes.
But in some cases, they're turnkey, ready to move in.
There have been a few where the city kind of has, as an experiment, have really put some funds into them to make them more livable. But unfortunately, that's not as cost effective as we would like. So we're turning more towards kind of selling them as is.
So this house here, this blue one,
Yes.
is this an example of, is this available right now?
That was sold in 2021,
Okay.
and that was kind of our experiment house, which was spearheaded by our previous city manager, Patrick Birch. He wanted to see what we could do if we took one house. I believe this is on Elmwood in the city. It sold last year, I believe, and the city spent funds to totally get it up to code, improved, and then sold. So the city sold it. I think we made just a little bit of profit off of it, but it was more of an experiment to see what we could do. And then from there, we realized that it's perhaps not as cost effective to be doing this to a lot of these properties. Some of them have received things, to like remove lead or asbestos, that kind of thing, before we sell them.
Yeah, I remember that. There was, I can think of one home, I think it was on Detroit Street, where the comparable homes were probably valued at, in the $50,000 range. And the money the city put into it, you would have had to sell it for like $190,000 in order to make the money back that you put into it.
Right.
You just can't. The city you have different standards. If you rehab a building, you've got certain standards that you have to meet,
right,
because you're a city.
Oh yeah, because we don't want to sell a dangerous structure to people. We want people living in affordable and safe housing. That is our goal. But it is our goal to provide city services and not be a landlord or a huge property owner. So that's why we're really going to the community and look at this as something that can improve the community.
All the details on the City of Jackson website, where you can call up, Aaron Dimick or Jonathan Green or your city council person.
Yes, cityofjackson.org/property sales is where people want to go.
Cool.
Yep.
Thanks for all that news, and thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
The PIO with the City of Jackson, Aaron Dimick. Next on the show, we've got